Today we're going to be solving one-step equations with multiplication and division. So just like yesterday, the one-step equation just tells us that we're only doing one step to solve it. And instead of using addition or subtraction for these, we're going to use multiplication and division. So we're doing it the same way as yesterday, just instead of adding and subtracting, we're multiplying or dividing. So remember, we always do the opposite when we solve equations. So first we need to know what are the opposites or the inverse of multiplication and division. The inverse or the opposite of multiplication is division. And the inverse or the opposite of division is multiplication. And again, make sure that you're showing all of your work for these and keeping your notes really neat and lined up. It will help you. Okay, so for number 1, if you read this problem, it says 7 times A equals 63. So that 7A means 7 times A. So we need to think, what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So instead of multiplying by 7 here, I'm going to divide both sides by 7. So remember, you always see what's going on by my variable and do the opposite of that. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, so that we don't really need that anymore. It's going to go away, and that will happen every time. Bring down your A, bring down your equal sign. 63 divided by 7 is 9. So the answer is 9. And again, you can check your answer by plugging it in. 7A means 7 times A, so 7 times 9 is 63. Number 2, doing the same thing. So this 7x means 7 times x. So the opposite of times x is divide by 7. So divide both sides by 7. So that goes away. We're left with x equals negative 56 divided by 7 is negative 8. Number 3, the equation is flipped around a little bit. That's okay. We still want to see what's going on by the variable. That's 6x. So that means 6 times x. The opposite of times is divide. So divide both sides by 6 because we're trying to get the 6 to go away, so x is by itself. Negative 54 divided by 6 is negative 9. Bring down your equal sign. The 6 went away, so I'm left with my x. Okay, number 4, on the left side by my variable, that says negative 8x, which means negative 8 times x. So I'm going to do the opposite, divide both sides by negative 8. Oops. So this goes away. I'm left with my x equals negative 48 divided by negative 8. Remember, negative divided by negative is a positive. 48 divided by 8 is 6. So x equals 6. Okay, I'm going to move down. Okay, number 5. Now this one's kind of weird. It says negative 3/4 x, which means negative 3/4 times x. So the opposite of times is still divide. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 3/4. I know you still don't like fractions. It's going to be okay. So my 3/4 on the left side will go away because that was my goal. I was trying to get x by itself. So bring down the x, bring down the equal sign. Now when you look at this right side, it says negative 9 divided by negative 3/4. So off to the side, I'm going to write that down exactly how I said it. Negative 9 divided by negative 3/4. So remember, to divide fractions, we need to turn this negative 9 into a fraction, which is negative 9 over 1. So all I did there was change negative 9 to negative 9 over 1. And then remember, we don't actually divide fractions. We turn it into a multiplication problem. So we change, flip. So keep the negative 9 over 1, change division to multiplication, flip the second fraction. Notice I put the negative on my 4. I just always put the negative on my top number. I think it makes things a little simpler. Negative 9 times negative 4 is positive 36. 1 times 3 is 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So x equals 12 here. So don't freak out just because you see fractions. We had a whole chapter on fractions. You just got to think about your rules about solving them. Number 6, this says y over negative 5, which really means y divided by negative 5. So the opposite of dividing is multiplication. So we're going to actually multiply both sides by negative 5 here. So my negative 5s will go away because that was my goal. I'm left with a y on the left. Bring down your equal sign. Negative 12 times negative 5 is a positive 60. So y equals 60. Okay. Now you're going to flip over to the next page. I'm already there. Okay. So I'm going to look at number 7. For number 7, it says y over 6, which again means y divided by 6. The opposite of division, multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 6. So those 6's will cancel. I'm left with y equals 12 times 6 is 72. Okay, one more problem. My variable's on the other side. That's okay. I still want to look at the side with the variable though. That says negative 5/9 times x. So the opposite of times, divide. So divide both sides by negative 5/9 since that's what's by the variable. So another fraction problem, but we just did one like it. So this is 5 divided by negative 5/9. So I'm going to write the opposite side exactly how I said it. 5 divided by negative 5/9. So just like the other example, I'm going to change 5 to 5 over 1. Rewrite the rest of the problem. I'm going to keep change flip. So keep the 5 over 1, change division to multiplication, flip the second fraction. And again, I put the negative with the top number just to make things a little easier with the signs. 5 times negative 9 is negative 45. 1 times 5 is 5. Negative 45 divided by 5 is negative 9. So right here I get negative 9. Bring down your equal sign. These cancel. I'm left with my x. So x equals negative 9. Okay, if you have any questions when you're working on your homework, please feel free to email me. Oops, wrong thing.